Before we do anything, there will be massive spoilers for Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. If you're trying to go into the game blind, skip this video until you've played. I'll wait. For those who wish to continue, let's get right into the synopsis. The story of Metroid Prime 4 revolves primarily around Samus Aran once again being the Chosen One. If you've been on my channel, you know I've made a deep dive on how Samus is the god's chosen savior before. In this game, she's trying to aid the already extinct Lamorn species by planting a tree filled with their race's collective history and knowledge on a new world so their legacy survives. Secondly, however, this game reveals to us the backstory of Sylux and the time loop he is stuck in. So let's break down the evidence. So at the end of the game, Samus returns to planet Tanamar, where the game's prologue takes place, and plants the Lamorn tree seed, and also imbues it with the psychic crystal she'd been using the entire game to pull off her psychic powers, along with it her legacy suit. Notice how the tree looks, its leaves and the little drippy parts, then compared to the much larger tree in the game, whose description is that it absorbed and stored mass amounts of energy, psychic energy, which would line up to how it was planted with her psychic crystal. It is reinforced by the Lamorn saying that the sacred tree had already existed when they first arrived, and already carried the thoughts and feelings within it. But how then, might you ask, could Samus's actions in the present affect a 6 millennia old tree in the past? Well, throughout the game, Samus's famous precognition kicks into effect, and we see through them the origins of Sylux, and we see even more in full during the game's true ending. If you look closely, on Tanamar again, the Federation and pirates are engaged in a battle, ironically likely led by Sylux, well, the Sylux we know, and a purple explosion takes place that kills most of the combatants and leaves a broken Sylux as a soldier behind. Now note how the explosion looks. It is almost identical to the same blast that happens when the Lamorn artifact is shot to begin the game, that sends Samus and the others to Viros, except that this is from a pirate super weapon, which I think is tapping into that power. Which, by the way, if you think Tanamar and Viros are the same planet, near the end of the game we see Samus set up a master teleporter, and see very clearly that Viros is either several galaxies or several universes away, and the Lamorn asked Samus to send their legacy to a new planet, so not the same. Anyway, we know this is the future, because why wouldn't Samus know Sylux's history if it was in the past? It explains how Sylux can be a Federation Marine on Tanamar after Samus plants a tree whilst fighting the space pirates of modern Sylux. We also see in Prime 4 that Sylux was able to master teleportation, even taking Samus to the space between universes in his final boss fight. So I suggest the explosion sent the tree Samus planted with all her psychic energy and her memories, and the memories of the Lamorn, as we're told back in time, to ancient Viros. This would explain how the Lamorn knew there was a chosen one coming to an unknown time, because they're just reading Samus's memories, basically. At the same time, Sylux either accidentally or intentionally gets sent back into the past, though not nearly as far, of course. This would explain why the Lamorn inexplicably have Chozo-style power-ups that are compatible with Samus's power suit, despite having no contact with a Chozo civilization at all. The most extreme case being the motorcycle Viola, which is inexplicably designed and works with Samus's arm cannon in mind, controlling it despite no evidence of the Lamorn building their own power suits. It would even explain how the Federation techie Miles McKenzie, who, remember, the Federation can't figure out how the Powerball works, is able to easily interface with Lamorn tech, because the Lamorn built their civilization partially around what Samus and those Federation troops did in the past. This even explains how Sylux could keep up with a far weaker Prime Hunter Samus, given that he's just a dude, but a dude in good armor from the future, but he quickly falls off after that, and didn't challenge Samus again until he's literally amped on Viros.
Nah, you know he did.
So here's the timeline. In 2069, Samus Aran plants the Lamorn seed. Sometime after that, the Federation and Sylux force space pirates battle near that tree, or the pirates are harnessing the tree, which triggers its psychic eruption. Sylux, at the time a soldier, blames the Federation and Samus for what happened and undergoes physical reconstruction, and then gets sent into the past. The baby tree Samus planted, along with Lamorn's memories, as well as her own psychic crystal predicting her coming, are sent through space and time to early Viros, where it can mature. Even the trailer said that we would see stuff intersect beyond space and time.
Her fate after being summoned to Vuros. The threads intertwining beyond space and time.
The Lamorn would evolve and settle Vuros and center their culture and religion around this sacred tree, and understand a prophecy of one who would save them in the future, that being Samus. Fast forward thousands of years, and Sylux the soldier is also sent to the past, as I mentioned, before the original Metroid game, but this time becomes the mysterious bounty hunter that we know as Sylux, with a grudge against this Federation and Samus Aran. This explains how he could know where and how to steal the prototype Federation shock coil and chip, given he used to be a soldier. Sylux will go on to track Samus during Prime 3, kidnap the Talvanian Metroid Egg in Federation Force, which is 20xd6, again explained by his familiarity with the Federation, and according to his log entry, he would spend time cloning them to forcibly mind control his army. After Mother Brain's death in 20xd7, he would take control of the space pirates and begin raiding Federation worlds. Finally, in 20xd9, again, he and Samus trigger yet another psychic explosion on Tanamar, causing the events of Metroid Prime 4 to happen, during which Samus receives premonitions of herself restarting the cycle. But this is mere days after the game's release, so perhaps someone will say I missed something, but with a 96% scan completion on just my first playthrough, I do think I'm onto something here, and I think this is what the game is going for. In the only way it makes sense, and so we are left with this interesting truth, that Samus' act of kindness leads to the creation of her second greatest rival. And I think it speaks a lot about Samus' characterization at this time, that despite foreseeing what would happen, she doesn't begrudge Sylux' soldier self, a sharp contrast to a Samus over the coming years whose willingness to show mercy deteriorates as the timeline continues. Look at poor Kraid. As for what the current Sylux' plans are, we do not know. The entire Federation squad was near powerless against an enormously weakened Sylux, and the ending suggests he made it back to modern times to lead that assault. We will have to wait for Metroid Prime 5 for more. But you know how I leave you. Be safe, be wise, and please pray for a true peace in space.